Hello, hello. We are here with another Toity's Descent into Darkness here on Terra Nullius. This is gonna be our sixth little mini session here, and I'm excited to see because I don't know what you're gonna ask. So it's always fun to have a conversation between you and your demon overlord. It'll be fun.
Just some basic questions based off stuff that happened last week. I don't know if this will be very long. Nothing.
Sure.
That big of a deal, but Balam said some things last week that are on Toity's mind, but things he didn't want to say in front of the other players.
Of course, yeah.
And I can kind of to set the scene, I guess, a little bit. This is kind of going to maybe happening on the way back to.
Right. So
I don't want to mess with. I don't want to mess with any continuity.
I don't think you'll have to worry about that too much.
So I'm thinking like either this is a conversation that's either happening right as they got back or as they're like almost about to go back.
Okay.
And because Toy's gonna be thinking about how Balam said essentially that it was one of his kind in what was the guy's name again?
The hummingbird suitor? Tzunuum.
The hummingbird suitor. Tzunuum,
yep.
Whatever his name is.
Yeah.
Yeah, like so Toy's gonna be like he's gonna be thinking about that and he's gonna kind of just I know he's probably gonna be like thinking like, okay, I can't be like messing around with the Ion Stone while we're like walking while everyone's around. Right, so I'm just gonna talk to him like more discreetly. So say,
sure.
Hey Balam, quick question.
Yes, what is it?
You said that the Tzunuum or Tzunuum?
Tzunuum. So it's TZUNN or NUUM. So I just posted it in chat.
So you said that Tzunuum looked like something about one of your kind was maybe around him or in him?
I didn't see it exactly. He gave off an aura. The curse that he mentioned, it seemed familiar somehow.
Like, and it I started talking to that accent. You say it reminded you of one of your kind?
I don't know if you need to worry yourself with it that much, Toity. You have other things to be doing. You can make a persuasion check of some sort.
Or can I make an insight to see?
Insight to what?
Yeah, I'm kind of curious to insight just to see like if there really is nothing to worry about,
right.
Or if
whether or not he's okay, sure.
I mean, I might ask anyway, just because.
Yeah, that makes sense though. That there would be an insight involved here.
Ooh.
Wait, why is my?
He said the curse specifically reminds him of his kind.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, I
rolled an 8.
Oh, there we go. Okay, I was like, the capture card isn't working. There it is. All right. 8. Yeah. You can't tell one way or the other. It seems like it basically, even if it's like he knows more about it or it's like more important, at the very least, you maybe believe that he has your best interest in mind by not telling you yet. And it doesn't sound like he's gonna be like, no, I'll never tell you this ever, sort of a thing. But just like, you don't worry about it right now. I'll tell you in due time. Like, it's not that important. That sounds convincing to you, but you could still try to persuade him.
I think I might try to. It's like, well,
yeah.
Well, like, is there anything I should be looking for, or things I should watch out for? I mean, well, that's right. This is the other thing I was going to think. Is this good for us? If it's one of your kind, is this a good thing, or should I be concerned about other stuff? I'm just trying to understand what's happening because I'm really confused.
I think he says.
Oh, can I?
Yeah. I guess that's what it is. That's what I was waiting for. Yeah, that makes sense.
Ooh, 17.
17. Not as good as you could have been, but yeah, still.
Oh no, the other roll was a crit.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so I think he says, "What do you know of the dichotomy between life and death, Toity?" You've been to the Feywild? And he just kind of leaves that sentence hanging as if whatever he was going to say next should be obvious to you.
I think I have an idea. I'm writing all this down because this is I can't look back on this later.
Yeah.
That's per usual. I just kind of think of like, are you saying that death is just another dimension? Just like the Feywild?
Death itself is not, no, but the place where death lives. In the same way that the Feywild is the place where life lives. Life originates from here.
Interesting. So, I'm trying to follow the logic here.
I wouldn't worry yourself too much about this.
So wait, if this just makes me think of something. If the Feywild is where life exists, then how come there was so much death with him?
As I said, the curse that he carried bore the mark of my kind. The mark of those who deal with death regularly.
This is really interesting. Where is this place? I guess it would be called Shibolba, the place where death lives.
I mean, you haven't said that outright. It might. I mean, you don't know. That could be a reasonable assumption, but you won't know for sure until you ask him. So
the Feywild is in a sense the opposite of Shibolba?
Shibolba is simply one smaller place in a larger continent of a larger plane of existence. You could say that Shibolba is an island in a sea of darkness. The good kind of darkness, of course, the comforting kind.
The good kind of darkness.
The sort of darkness that lulls you into a deep, pleasant sleep. And you can tell that he's saying this from like personal experience. He's like, yes, it's so comfortable.
Good kindness, comfortable, and lulls you to sleep. I think that's kind of just gonna take Toity kind of a little not off guard. She's just kind of think about it like he's never thought of it that way, because like he thinks darkness, he thinks bad darkness. Brr. So he's like, oh, the kind that lulls you, but that kind of like makes sense to him a little bit. Like, yeah, like when it's dark, you can fall asleep, which is nice. So I'm not sure if Toity necessarily thinks of that as a bad thing, but he would have previously.
Exactly. Yeah.
Sent into darkness.
So you're worried about the future, coming across things like this?
I was mainly just wondering, you have to stop the one person, I forget the name of, from becoming Nahuatl, from becoming the god of death. And if he is of your kind, like you seem to say, I'm just wondering if he could help us in that.
And there's a long silence that seems to like make him think of something like he didn't think of before. He's like,
because that's what I was thinking the entire time.
Yeah.
That's the main reason I wanted to have this session. I just forgot about it till recently.
So I think what he says is, I believe that there may be something to what you say. What Raya did to him may have changed things somewhat, but I don't think substantially. You see, Raya used the power of the orb, which is a manifestation of the same sort of energy that exists in Shabalba. But she also used magic from her goddess, Selune. I knew her by another name, but the principle remains the same. The gods, however death-oriented they may be, still cling to life. And I think that the moon's magic may have tainted Tzunuum as a proper vessel somewhat. If you could find a way for me to...
That's right.
Communicate with Tzunuum, touch his mind, perhaps?
Oh, no.
Maybe I could reverse what Raya has done, and maybe... And he kind of just, like, pauses for a minute, and he says, maybe he would make a proper vessel.
And I just remembered that I was supposed to, like, do something with... Was I supposed to, like, look at the orb? What was the other thing that...
Oh, yeah, the thing that Chalmer told you to do?
Chalmer told me to do.
Basically, it was whenever you get... what was it? Arendira has a chain that is another, like, fire thing.
Right.
And then Ari has the fire ring, and so once you guys get the chain, and then Chalmer wants you to get him the chain and her ring, so that he can use those combined with the mask to basically let Shabalba come through, let your patrons come back.
I just remembered that. I completely and totally forgot. I need to keep better a note on.
I mean, yeah, but you don't need to do anything about it until you find that chain.
Yeah.
I
thought he wanted me to, like, look at it earlier too.
Yeah. I think maybe he mentioned something about, like, if you could, like
look at
investigate the ring somewhat, and then give him some information. I think he said something along the lines of, like, it will help me when I need to do the ritual to know something about it. Instead of just seeing it for the first time when you give it to me.
I don't know if I can get away with that, though. Not easily.
No.
There's not a good way of...
You'll have to find a very, very rare opportunity.
It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
I just may have to... I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, that wasn't necessarily a requirement. It was just like, if you can, that would be good.
Okay, so need to try and get Balam to connect his mind with Tzunuum to untaint him.
What's really funny is untaint him in this circumstance means make him sad again, right? Like, make him hate his life again. That's what that means.
Okay, that's gonna be interesting. Dang it. I kind of want to... I'm wondering if that's something I should try now.
You could. You certainly could.
Or if it's something I should try. I don't think I can do that during the session. That's gonna
no, I mean, you could do it. I mean, there's a little bit of downtime in between where we ended last session and where we're going to pick up tomorrow. So you could certainly do it in that time. You could find a moment to like have a conversation with him, right? You could do that.
I think I'm going to try it.
Okay. Yeah. Sure. Let's do it.
Okay, so I'm gonna, and when there's kind of some downtime, I'm gonna try and find myself alone with Tzunuum.
Okay, yeah. Where would you have tried to do this?
It would have to have been just like when there's some downtime, like probably maybe late at night or something like that.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So I think maybe you find Tzunuum outside looking at the moon.
I knew it.
Yeah. right? Like he's sitting on that same like old wall near where you were like sitting with Toity with Miggy that one time. And yeah, he's just kind of like smiling wanly at the moon. And you like, come up to him or whatever. You sit on the wall.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what do you say?
Give me a second. Right, and everything. So I'll just kind of look up to him like, I'll kind of so that's her, is it?
The one and only. Have you ever been in love before, Toity?
Not really. Why don't you tell me about it? And I'm gonna use that just to kind of get him distracted.
Yeah. Okay. Do you want to make a deception check? Like, what are you trying to do specifically? Like, distract him how? Because you're going to do what?
I'm going to distract him to try and use... Because the only thing I know of that's ever connected me with the mind of something is the Serpent's Glory.
You're going to try to use the Serpent's Glory as a... of course. Yeah, as a channel. Of course. Absolutely. Yeah. That's been so foreshadowed. Absolutely. Yeah.
If it worked with the robots, it's going to work with a person.
Yep.
Okay, so I'm like, why don't you tell me about it? Because I've never been in love. So could I go get away with performance instead of deception? I have a higher performance roll.
Sure. I think that makes sense. Yeah.
Okay. 19.
19. Yep, I think 19 is enough. Well, I'll roll an insight. But it's more than likely that will be enough. Yeah, he doesn't.
Oh my gosh, that would have been like a 15.
Oh wow, he got a 19. What does that mean?
I don't know. It's up to you. You're the DM.
Man, we've done it like different ways every time.
We have.
What did we figure out last time? Like what? Let me look this up. Let's do a quick Google search and see what Wizards of the Coast has to say.
I'll take a bite of my burrito.
Yeah. Ties in D&D 5e. Who wins ties? Yeah, attacker wins all ties. Yeah, because it's always whatever. If it's like an opposed roll, it's whoever is the defender is setting the DC for you to beat. And since you got the DC,
that makes sense.
Then you win. Yep.
Just barely.
Yes. Yep. You just barely succeeded. I mean, he has a +0 to wisdom, so
dang.
Like he just rolled really, really well. Okay. Yeah. So you distract him just enough, and he starts telling you the story, right, of like how he would like bring gifts to the moon back when she was like living in the mountains, and like he's like halfway through this like account of him bringing this like beautiful carved figurine to her, and like basically like gathering like a flock of hummingbirds to like lift it over the wall of the complex that she lived in to like bring it to her. And that's when you're like sneaking out the Serpent's Glory, and then you like click the little button or whatever. I know.
And I want to try and kind of channel it with Balam.
Yeah.
So like I say, like, okay, Balam, here's your chance. And I'll try and use it.
Okay, make a wisdom save.
He has to make the wisdom save.
Well, I mean, yes, but you're also channeling Balam. That's.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay, wisdom save. Okay, what can I do to get advantage? I think what Toity's thinking about is like, while he's talking, he's thinking about the fact that like he totally lied. He's like, he totally lied there. But he never really. Actually, I don't remember if I told a story about him loving someone once. I don't remember.
I feel like you did. You did tell me a story about you loving someone once. There was a girl you loved, but you didn't tell me very many details.
I don't remember many. I don't remember even what I said then.
I don't even know that if you. It was just like there was a person I loved, but she didn't really love me back. This wasn't you were talking to Miggy. You said just because she doesn't return the affection didn't mean I couldn't like do what's best for her. Like be really friendly and nice to her and do whatever I can to like love her anyway.
That's true. I remember that now. But I think what Toy's gonna think about now is More so the fact that like the only time he can ever think of that someone's loved him back is his mom.
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna think like,
of course.
he's doing this for he's in a sense doing this for his mom. He wants to make sure that she rests in peace, and he needs to make sure that there's a god of death that isn't going to cause that he feel like he can get behind or something like that. So he needs to do this. Like that's his motivation behind doing all of this.
Yeah. Because you're worried to death that her rotten corpse will rise from the grave and yeah.
He doesn't want her desecrated.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So you want to get advantage on that? Is that what you're saying?
Essentially, wisdom.
Yeah, sure.
Wisdom save?
Yep, wisdom save. Go ahead.
17! Double 17.
Yeah, that's pretty good. So you sense the veritable force of Balam's mind rush past yours through the rod and into Tzunuum's mind. And wow, like a thing happens.
Oh no.
For sure. I mean, I'll make the wisdom save for him.
Mm-hmm.
But like there's gonna be something interesting that occurs here. Either way. 16. What's the save on it?
Ooh, it's 15.
It's 15.
Yeah, and I don't necessarily need, because that's to charm him. I don't necessarily even want to.
Right, you just want to. Okay, so what this means is, Balam gets to touch his mind, but he doesn't get to stay there. It would be so much easier if Balam could just like go into Tzunuum, do whatever he needs to do, and leave. But Balam has a singular instant in which he can touch Tzunuum's mind and like change, like tilt the trajectory slightly. And so I think what you see is, so he's wearing I don't think he's wearing the hummingbird mask right now. It's like on the wall next to him. He's looking up at the moon, and he's like talking about this figurine, right? And so he says, and she loved it. She really did. And she told me so across the wall, and she threw me a rose. And then he just stops and like kind of frowns. And he like looks over at you, sees that you have like the rod of rulership in your hands. And you notice, I think for the first time, that his eyes are green. Before they were like a gray color. And maybe we just noticed this for the first time as the audience, and really pay attention to it. But like technically this happened as soon as Raya like did her thing. But it seems like it's been growing more vibrantly green throughout the time that he's had the like happiness around him. But it starts to go from green to kind of like a yellowish green. And it reminds you of like the fading of like a leaf in the fall. Like it starts to like die basically, right? So it goes from green to yellow and then slightly into orange. And it kind of stays at this like orangish red that's very familiar to you. The same color that your veins turned when you were hit with the fullness of this dark magic the first time. And it's also the same color as the weird maelstrom that's behind the Sphere of Annihilation that you haven't seen yet. It's that same shade. And he kind of like, he looks at you and he sees you have the thing in your hands, and he says, "What's that, Toity?"
Just my walking stick.
Trying to make a deception check. Wow. Wow. What a lie.
What am I supposed to say?
Yeah, that's about as good as you can do.
How could I get advantage on this? I need this to not
don't
fail.
know.
Oh my gosh, this could go horribly wrong. Okay, I have an idea, because we've talked before about how Toity had siblings and they didn't like him and they picked on him a lot. So there's a lot of times where he was literally like caught with his hands in a cookie jar in a sense of
of
the words, where he's like his siblings would catch him. Like sometimes he'd like, you know what? Toity at times would be like, you know what? Screw my siblings. I'm just gonna take something of theirs because I want it, and they're not even treating me. Sort of thing.
Sure.
And
Of
so he
course.
like had to learn to just be chill, like, oh no, this isn't that. That's no, that yours is over there. It's like I saw it. Like, so he's just kind of try and channel that chill that he would have in those times where he's
Right.
like, oh, no, it's nothing. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
just like, even though he's caught off guard, it's like, oh, it's nothing. It's just my walking stick. It's not enough to PS my way with the deception roll.
Yeah, go ahead. Deception with advantage.
Whew, 21. Didn't
even
need it.
need it. Okay, so 21. So we see him kind of like, his eyes are like burning into you like fire, and he seems to like about to call out your bull crap. But then his eyes turn back to that green, and there's only the slightest hint of yellow in them. And he says, "Interesting. Did you know that Ko used to have a walking stick back when he was using an avatar of an old man back in the day?" And he just starts talking about like the gods and the old days and his relationship with the moon, almost as if nothing happened. But you saw that like shift in his eyes from green to red for that instant. And
his eyes are still a little yellow though.
Yes, his eyes are still a little yellow. Do you want to make a Arcana or Religion check?
Let's see.
I feel like there's something you might be able to discover about this.
Well, both of them are 2s, so I'll just roll one. 13.
13. Yeah, I don't think you catch this. You feel like there's something that seems familiar about what just happened, and about just him in general. But yeah, you're not sure. But yeah, I mean, he seems to just kind of like be himself for now. You know, well, not himself, but you know, whatever this new self of him is, with the happiness and whatnot. Yeah.
A second. So as he's not sure what. So I'm just gonna sit like kind of go like well, Balam, were you able to do it?
Yeah, he says, "I was able to touch his mind for just a brief moment, but I think it might be enough. I shifted his trajectory just a little bit. I think if we give it enough time, he should be more than tenable."
Okay. And I was expecting this to be short, like simple. I'm like changing people's minds.
You are, yeah.
Well, I think Toity's just gonna sit there and kind of listen to him till he stops talking.
He doesn't.
If that happens.
No.
I was after a while, after this, like, okay, I'm saying like, hey, Tzunuum, this is all great, but I'm rather tired after this long.
Oh, of course, yeah. I didn't mean to keep you up. I'll just stay out here a little bit longer. I think.
Okay. Good night.
Sleep well. Yeah.
Thank you.
And I'm just gonna walk away. Looks back up at the moon. And then you just maybe hear in the very briefest, like, whisper as you leave, "I'm gonna die."
Okay.
Yep.
That's all.
Good stuff. Toity is
I actually worked on a goal.
changing the trajectory of everything.
I just wanted to figure out if where to go from here. And now I'm like, oh, I actually worked on Noop-de-woo, which since I can say this, since this isn't
you can, yeah. What is Noop-de-woo?
Noop-de-woo is make sure Nahuatl isn't the new god of death.
And
technically I worked on not really. Floop-de-woo is keep my transformation a secret.
You kept the true transformation a secret from him.
But it was mainly from the party, but I guess it still kind of counts.
I think that still counts, right? Because you had the moment with the rod of rulership is what I'm thinking about, right? You made the deception check to like make sure he didn't know you were messing with him.
We can roll that into tomorrow though. Okay. So we don't have to worry about people like that's the one thing also, like, because of these sessions, sometimes I feel like I'm gaining experience a little too fast. Yeah. So I'm trying not to. Yeah. I don't want to get too far ahead. But if I do, it'll make the if I have to defend myself more interesting. Okay.
Good stuff.
Well,
Good stuff. Sounds good. This has been Toity's Descent into Darkness, and he may have brought another mind with him in his dark descent. All right, we'll be back
Sorry,
tomorrow
guys.
with more Terra Nullius.